So this is our native Lenna sempervirens, sometimes called trumpet honeysuckle or evergreen honeysuckle. The Sempervirens, always green, does point that it tends to stay green all year round, but it's not perfect. It actually does some other days not stay green when it's really, really bad weather. It's easily confused with our native honeysuckle, but a couple of things to look for. Of course, if it's in bloom, it's unmistakable. It's not yellow. It's not white with yellowish insides. It's either a bright red, which is what we normally see, or if it's escapee from cultivar, slightly different, slightly different orange or yellowish to it. Another big piece is the way that some of the leaves per foliate, they connect in the middle. You can see right here. And then the stem runs right through before it blooms. This is a fantastic plant that really deserves to be planted much more often. Not only is it a hummingbird magnet, I had this for several years in my yard, and the hummingbirds would come up to it constantly. Anything that's usually a trumpet type of flower, and anything that has a long, a tubular flower, and especially red or orange, is something built for hummingbirds. It doesn't have a great scent to it, doesn't need to, because hummingbirds don't have a good sense of smell. But this is an incredibly long-lasting plant. It'll bloom 2 or 3 months out of the year, which of course is fantastic, not only for us, but as a great food source for many of our, for the hummingbirds that happen to be moving through the area. So plant it if you can. You can train it. It takes a little while for it to establish itself. Then you get these beautiful, long blooming plants. And again, if you do see in the wild, double check when you do see some honeysuckle to make sure, yes, it's probably the Japanese one, but our native, again, with the leaves that are either right through the middle, you can see the stem, or slightly less different shape than it is. But again, a beautiful plant. This is trumpet honeysuckle, Lenna sempervirens. Beautiful. Let me show you the back side of the leaves too. Oh, and by the way, these plants, honeysuckles, tend to have all sorts of neat little sphinx moths in particular that will live on them as caterpillars, plus several other things. What a great garden plant that I can't recommend highly enough. It blooms best when it gets at least partial sun. It'll survive in the shade but not produce many blooms. But in the sun, but as long as the ground is semi-moist, it can do very, very well for itself.